idiot! Oh, dude. Should have just called a professional. A homeowner in Georgia probably thought he was pretty smart last week. Hey, I'll burn them bees out of that hive, yeah! I mean, overall, it was a good concept, but poor execution. Because he also kind of like burned most of his house down. Huh, that'll teach those bees. In an attempt to get rid of the beehive he found near the roof of his house, the unnamed homeowner decided to poke the thing with a stick he'd set aflame. But guess what? As soon as the man began to execute his awesome plan, he accidentally, literally, set the roof on fire. The flames quickly burned down the attic and the majority of the structure, and in a matter of smoky seconds, poof, it was gone. Yep, bye-bye house. Firefighters later put the fire out, and luckily no human injuries were reported. But we do imagine the guy learned at least one lesson. Next time you see a beehive, it's a lot cheaper to call an exterminator. Don't let YouTube ad bots dictate what TomoNews reports. Support us at patreon.com/TomoNews. Sometimes houses catch fire for the most ridiculous reasons.
Boy's hoverboard explodes and burns down his family's house. When Hayden Horn opened his 12th birthday present on November 20th, he couldn't wait to jump on the latest trendy gadget and cruise around effortlessly. His mom, Jessica Horn, even let him ride it on the night he opened it, but the fun and games quickly went up in flames when the hoverboard's battery ran out of juice. Hayden plugged it in the next day using the wall charger it came with. His mom said she walked by his room. She saw the hoverboard explode and catch fire within seconds, setting fire to his room first and then their whole house. Firefighters responded in time to rescue the family's dog, but most of their possessions were incinerated. The hoverboard was purchased on Amazon from a distributor called Fit Turbo. Jessica started a GoFundMe page to help the family with expenses from the fire and holiday cheer. The use of hoverboards in public has been banned in New York City and in London. According to a CNN report, nearly 90% of the hoverboards imported into Britain have been recalled because of the risk of explosion or electrocution. This is all that was left of the hoverboard that burned down the Horn's house.
Dog starts house fire that kills pet cat. These photos depict the charred remains of a home in Rollsville, North Carolina. The culprit responsible for starting the fire? The family dog, according to firefighters who investigated the blaze. The morning of January 18th, fire officials believe the dog noticed a box of treats sitting near the stovetop. Determined to get to them, the pooch likely turned the knob on one of the burners, sparking the flame. The paper box of treats so close to the burner, it caught fire and then quickly spread to the rest of the kitchen. The 3 dogs in the house managed to survive, along with one of the 2 cats. Unfortunately, the other kitty perished. The firefighters had a few clues to figure out that the dog did it. Look carefully and you'll notice some milk bones scattered across the stovetop. The fire department claims this is a common occurrence, so please don't underestimate your pets.
Was Slenderman a factor in yet another teen's attempt to harm her family? Lily Marie Hartwell of Port Richey, Florida, set her family's home on fire last week. The 14-year-old told police that she was a fan of Slenderman, a fictional character who has been blamed for inspiring 2 other violent acts committed by teenage girls earlier this year. On the night of the crime, Hartwell read an ebook called Soul Eater after fighting with her mom about chores. While her mother and 9-year-old brother lay asleep in their bedrooms, Hartwell plotted their death. The teenage girl soaked a bedsheet in bleach and rum and set it alight in the family's garage. Luckily, her mother and son were awoken by the fire alarm and were able to make it out of the house safely. Firefighters entered the home 3 times searching for the girl. Hartwell ran to a local park to hide and texted her mom to tell her she was sorry. Police later arrested the teen with 1 count of arson and 2 counts of attempted murder. Do you think Slenderman or Soul Eater are to blame? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Hey Tomo Sapiens, help us beat the ad bots by joining our Patreon news squad at patreon.com/TomoNews.
London family loses pet dog to fire started by glass jar. Most of us don't think of an empty Nutella jar as a fire hazard, but the Murphy family know better. This South London family sadly learned this lesson the hard way after leaving the house on February 15th to celebrate their anniversary. Rays from the sun shone through the jar, which was sitting on a windowsill. The jar was being used to store rubber bands, but enough of the glass was exposed so that the sun's rays were magnified, sparking a massive house fire. Neighbors noticed the fire and called the Murphy family, who rushed back, but they could only watch in horror as the fire gutted their house. No humans were hurt, but sadly the Murphys' dog, a Jack Russell called Chili, died from smoke inhalation. The Murphy family has urged people to be aware of the dangers of refracted sunlight, as a glass, a crystal, or even the face of a watch could potentially spark a fire. London fire officials say 125 fires were sparked by the sun's rays over the last 5 years. The family says they hope Chili the dog is the last unfortunate victim of a not often thought of danger.